Welcome back to California Cooking and happy Thanksgiving. Today is our very special Friendsgiving episode. My KTLA family is coming over for lunch and I'm so excited to have all of them over for this special occasion. Before they come over, one of the things I love most about this tradition is we get to share each other's family recipes and enjoy them together. So first, I'm making a sweet potato au gratin for everyone to enjoy. Then it's Eric Spillman's specialty that he makes for his family every Thanksgiving. Eric is showing us how he makes his barbecue beer can turkey. Lynette Romero shares her recipe for a Hatch chili cornbread stuffing. And finally, Megan and I are shaking up a festive cocktail. First up, I think it's a staple for a lot of families to have sweet potatoes on their Thanksgiving table, but this year I decided to do something a little different. I love potatoes au gratin with the cream sauce and the cheese, but I decided to use sweet potatoes instead, and I love how it turned out. Take a look. I'm excited about our Friendsgiving. It's becoming an annual thing where we all get together and we share a Thanksgiving meal. So this year, as much as I love sweet potatoes that have the sweet toppings, sometimes marshmallows like my mom makes with the sweet nuts on top, I'm gonna do a savory sweet potato because not everybody's into the sweet potato. So for this one, I thought, wouldn't it be nice if you combined like a bechamel, which is a cheesy, creamy sauce with sweet potato, a little bit of sage, and bake it in the oven. So I'm gonna give it a try. But the whole goal to this dish is to get these thin slices of sweet potato. It's really easy. You peel them, and then you just do this. Ta-da! And that's it. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a baking dish, and I'm gonna try to make a pretty design and stand up my sweet potatoes in a design and see if this works. I'm gonna line up my potatoes, and I'm hoping that when it bakes, the top will get a little bit crispy because of the way they're standing, and then the inside will be creamy from the bechamel. So we've nestled it in there, and now we're gonna go make a bechamel, and I'm going to add Gruyere cheese. So for the base of the bechamel, which is a white sauce, and then you add cheese and it becomes a cheese sauce, I started with a shallot. I just cut it up, fine slices, one shallot, little bit of butter, cook it until it's soft, and then we're gonna get into our bechamel. So 2 tablespoons of butter into our shallots. We're gonna melt our butter. 2 tablespoons of flour, and we cook the flour. You don't want a raw flour taste in your bechamel, so you wanna cook the flour until it gets a golden blonde color, so it doesn't taste like raw flour. To that, we're gonna add 1.25 cups of whole milk. So we got that blonde color. Now the way you get the cream sauce is you let this bubble up and it thickens with the flour, and then you add your seasonings. And that's a bechamel. It's not that scary. It's a scarier word, but to make it is really pretty simple. Our sauce came together, a nice thick creamy white sauce. Now to add the flavorings, because there's really no salt or anything in it. I'm gonna add a healthy pinch of salt, maybe 2, a lot of cracked pepper. I'm gonna add, to a white sauce, especially around the holidays, some nutmeg. Nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon, a pinch of cayenne, just to give it a little, what is that? And a grated clove of garlic, 1/2 cup of grated Gruyere cheese, and some grated Parmesan cheese. I would say 1/4 cup. Now let's take it over and add it to the sweet potato. So we have our sweet potatoes stacked up in our baking dish. Now comes the fun part. We're gonna add our cheesy bechamel on top of our sweet potatoes. And because I stacked them like that, I wanna just open up the layers and get it in between. Oh, this sauce, I mean, you could just take a loaf of bread and have a day. And I think this will be nice because you have mashed potatoes, and a lot of times sweet potatoes are mashed and soft, and this will be another texture on the Thanksgiving table. Okay, this smells so good. Let's get it in between all of our layers. Use it all, right? Why let it go to waste? I might sprinkle a little bit of Parmesan cheese on top. Now, we're gonna put this on a baking sheet in case it bubbles over, and we're gonna bake it in the oven. I have it on 375. You could do 350, 375. You just want the potatoes to be soft, the bechamel to be bubbly. Oh my goodness, our sweet potato au gratin out of the oven, bubbly. And because I stacked the potatoes like that, the tops get a little brown and crispy. And then I took some fresh sage and I'm gonna just sprinkle that on top. I'm excited to dig into this one. Happy Thanksgiving. That dish was so good, I can't wait for my friends to try it. Coming up, I'm making Lynette Romero's green Hatch chili stuffing. Then, Megan and I are mixing up a festive cocktail. But first, Eric Spillman is showing us how to make his specialty every Thanksgiving. It's his barbecue beer can turkey. That's coming up next. Eric Spillman is talented in so many ways, so when he decided he wanted to share his Thanksgiving turkey recipe with us, I was so excited because not only does it involve a beer can, but it's done on the grill. Take a look.
Welcome to my kitchen. This is a favorite Thanksgiving recipe. It's called beer butt turkey, but if you want to be a little bit more polite, you could call it beer can turkey. That's the recipe that people describe. And what it is you're using beer to make the turkey more moist than it ordinarily would be, and you're cooking it on the barbecue. And the idea is that the beer is evaporating during the cooking process to make the inside of the turkey moist. It's an excellent recipe. I've been using it for years. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is a little melted butter, which you use to coat on the turkey. Butter is great. Everybody loves butter. And honestly, with this recipe, the story is like, if I can cook this, literally anybody could cook, because I am not a good cook at all. The next step is the rub on the turkey. Now you can use your own rub. You could make it, which take you hours to do, or you can go to the store and buy the Weber's beer can chicken rub. Definitely want to put some inside the turkey as well. Now comes sort of the best part, I think, which is the beer aspect. Now, what I like to use is the Australian Foster's beer. It's a large beer can. This, like this, and you need to pour out half the container of the beer can. This is for the chef, okay? While you're cooking, this is what you have. What you want to do is make some more holes in the beer can so that when it cooks, the beer is going to boil and it's going to evaporate inside the turkey. The other thing you need to use the beer for is to soak the mesquite chips. Now comes kind of the challenging part. You have to insert or position the turkey on top of the beer can. Now that takes a little bit of work. It's better if you have a helper, one person holding the turkey, the other person positioning the beer can. But to get this done properly, you're gonna have to move the legs of the turkey towards the front. But it's not 100%, like it's not gonna stay like that. It might fall over. So you got some things that you gotta do to make, you're playing around with the legs of the turkey. You're getting real close to this turkey. I mean, you feel like this turkey's your friend after this process. The thing that you're gonna do to keep the turkey stable during the cooking process is you're gonna use an onion to do that. Cut up an onion. And Jessica, I'm really sad you're not here, because you could have helped me. I would have given you the job of inserting the beer can into the turkey. I know you would have loved that part. This is maybe a little extra. If you put a piece of onion in the top of the turkey like that, that closes the hole at the top of the turkey so that when the beer evaporates, it stays inside the evaporated beer. I mean, some people think that makes it even more moist by doing that. And then the other use for the onion is to kind of stabilize the turkey in the tray here by using these onion wedges at the bottom to prevent it from falling over. So what we're using is a standard gas barbecue grill, but what we've done is we've taken out the actual grill because you need more space here because the turkey sits upright, so you need to create some more space. So that's what we've done. And the key to this process is you want to have some smoke in here to give it the good flavor. So you want to create smoke inside your grill. I use a very primitive method, which I'm going to show you. Okay, so you use standard mesquite wood chips, and you put them in a container like this, and then you take some of the beer and you pour it over the wood chips. Now, ideally, you're letting these soak for a good hour or so. Heavy-duty aluminum foil, and you create kind of a little tray for the mesquite chips by folding it over a little bit like this. And you put this stuff in here, like that. And then you're gonna position these like in the corners of the grill, right there. Wanna get the grill started now, and you wanna start it maybe 20 minutes before you put the turkey in. That way the wood chips will start smoking. Up. To cook this thing, you want to use the indirect heating method, which means the middle grill is going to be off. And then these two side grills, you're going to keep those on. And you want to kind of get it at around 400 degrees or so when you're cooking. The turkey itself, you know, the skin of it will cook too fast unless you cover it with aluminum foil. Key is covering it up. You want to keep it covered so that the heat builds up and the smoke stays inside here. And if you're constantly opening it up and checking it, that's how you ruin a turkey. So you want to keep it covered for most of the time. It's going to take about 2 hours or so to cook. Okay, the only thing you might want to do during the cooking process is to make sure that you have enough wood chips in there, and that also I think it's useful to take some of the beer and pour it on the wood chips during the process. That makes it smoke a little bit more. So it goes like this. One for me, one for you. So what we're doing at the end of the process here, or close to the end, you're putting a little bit of sauce or glaze on the top of the turkey. This is just a regular barbecue sauce that you can use. Put a little Tabasco in that, and then you just paint the top of this guy. How do you know your turkey is done? I like to use a meat thermometer, and you want to go to the thickest part of the turkey, which is near the thigh area. You put it in here. There's various theories about this. You put it in here, and you want this thing to read 165. Now, is that a gorgeous turkey or what, huh? Beautiful. Jessica, this is from me to you. Happy Friendsgiving.
That looks so good. All right, Eric, we'll see you soon. Coming up, it's Lynette Romero and her husband David's favorite side on the Thanksgiving table. It's her green Hatch chili cornbread stuffing. Then, Megan and I are shaking up a cocktail with Prosecco, cranberry, and more. If you were to open Lynette Romero's freezer, you would see bags of frozen green Hatch chilies. That's because every year, Lynette and her husband stock up on Hatch chilies. They're only around for a couple of months a year. She decided to give me a couple of bags so I could make her family's famous green Hatch chili cornbread stuffing. Take a look. We are getting ready for Friendsgiving, and sweet Lynette Romero said, why don't you make my family's New Mexico green Hatch chili stuffing? And I said, Lynette, I'd love nothing more, because Lynette is so generous to give us family recipes like she did last year. But this year, she said it's husband David's stuffing that is out of this world. And I think part of what makes it so good is it's cornbread based. And cornbread, here's what I keep doing. This is the problem with the cornbread stuffing. So what I did to make it easy, and Lynette gave me the recipe, so I'm gonna go by what she and David do. This cornbread you could make but just go to the bakery at your grocery store and get either cornbread muffins or a cornbread loaf, which is what we did. Now the key to stuffing is you want it to be dried out. So if you can, the night before, just let this sit open, uncovered, and let it dry out. And if you forget, you can always stick it in the oven on a baking sheet and that'll pull the moisture out. Low bake until it gets a little toasted. And then we're gonna add all this flavor and moisture to the cornbread. So, her secret, David's secret I should say, is New Mexico Hatch chilies. Now they get them in late August into September when you see Hatch chilies in the grocery stores here. If you missed out, because they think ahead and they freeze them and put them in the freezer. So these are actually from Lynette's freezer. If you don't have Hatch chilies in your freezer, you could just add an Anaheim chili poblanos. Those would work in a pinch. In the blender, how you create the moisture is you blend up some corn. So I have a package of corn, thawed it out. You don't have to cook it, just thaw it. To that, 4 eggs. This is what's so fun about Friendsgiving is we all get together and we have a meal, but we share recipes from our families. And then we learn about, you know, what everybody does on their Thanksgiving, which I think is so nice. 1/4 cup of sugar. So this will be a little sweet, a hefty pinch of salt, nice fat pinch, and some pepper. And now we blend it. Our puree of corn is done. It's so silky. Oh my goodness, look how nice. So this is gonna go over our cornbread. Okay, don't get mad at me, but 10 tablespoons of butter in this pan. It is the holidays, after all. That's the time to be decadent. So 10 tablespoons of butter. To that, our New Mexico Hatch chilies. About 2 cups going in. Gonna saute that in the butter, and with that, I cut up about 6 green onions and just let the onions get soft in the butter. So we added a little jalapeno to give it some extra kick, but a little spice I think is nice, and so does Lynette. I think Lynette's okay with this addition. Let that get all nice and soft. Pinch of salt, because it can't hurt. So to the cornbread with the corn and egg mixture, we're gonna add the veggies. To that, more corn. So 2 bags of corn you need for this recipe. I'm gonna use a 1/2 bag of corn kernels. And then some cilantro, fresh cilantro. I hope we did Lynette justice with this rendition. I followed it pretty closely, Lynette. I tried. We're gonna cover it with some foil, put it in the oven, 350, 40 minutes, and then you take that foil off and get it nice and browned on top. Lynette Romero's cornbread Hatch chili stuffing. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. I hope they like it. Thanks, Lynette. Oh my gosh, Lynette, that stuffing was so good. I had to contain myself so I didn't eat it all before everyone arrived. Okay, on to cocktails. I always think it's really nice when your guests arrive to have a specialty cocktail ready. So Megan and I decided to open up some bubbly. Take a look. Meg, I love when you come early to help me with
anything you need. I'm here for you.
Cocktail. Actually, we need a cocktail before the rest of them
show
up.
Let's be honest.
Okay, you love Prosecco. I got a Prosecco. And I just kind of like the label, which is why I pick a lot of things.
Go with it. It's cute.
So if you would open that, I don't really make specialty cocktails that often. I have to admit.
Well, I don't either. And you and I really don't drink a lot of specialty cocktails.
No.
We tend to go for the wine,
right,
the bubbly, that sort of thing. But I love the idea of having a thematic drink for Thanksgiving.
Right, so when people show up, it's nice to have a little something. I also think something sparkly is festive.
For sure.
So I thought what we could do, there's always extra cranberry sauce, right at Thanksgiving. And the idea of muddling drinks, you put fruit and you muddle.
Right.
So what if, Meg, we take our champagne glass and we put a little cranberry sauce at the bottom.
I know where this is going and
yes.
I love it.
Okay. And it's, you know, this is the whole chunky cranberry. There's a little bit of orange juice in here and some sugar, so nothing, there's no like chopped nuts or anything weird.
So you want to stay away from that?
Yeah, a
You're
simple
doing this
cranberry
at home.
sauce.
Okay.
And then we're just going to put in our,
Can't believe I managed to do this.
yes, the party has started.
Officially started.
Okay, so let's go ahead and add.
I like this.
And it'll
This
be a
is
pretty
great.
color.
It just
Okay.
kind of elevates your Prosecco, which I love.
Maybe we'll top, let's start this
Let me
one,
do
then we'll
this
top it. And then I have some rosemary outside. And rosemary always makes me think of the
Is
holidays.
this fresh from your garden, Jess?
It is, although my garden sadly is just rosemary right now.
That's all that matters. It's
Here,
good
we'll
enough.
top
I
that
love
one a little
rosemary.
more.
Okay.
Add a little more. And I'll just take some of the stem off.
Okay.
Do that.
Cute.
Okay, and then I think it also is nice when you can add a little bit of citrus to a cocktail. A little orange.
But I love the two-tone too. It's like a little,
Isn't that
it's like an
pretty?
ombre. Oh, there we go.
What are we gonna call it, Meg?
Okay, this is, I've been trying to figure this out and I'm not really good with the names. We could do like something fall themed, like
What was that one we just thought? Was
Autumn
it-
Fizz.
Autumn
Here's
Fizz!
the bottom. We tried to Google fall drinks to try to get some
Google.
ideas and we weren't getting much.
Okay, what do you think?
I think these are so beautiful.
Aren't these
I
pretty?
love the orange garnish.
Yeah.
Adding the flavor
All right,
in
let's
there.
cheers
All right,
before
let's
anyone
cheers.
gets here.
Yes.
Happy Friendsgiving.
Happy Friendsgiving. That's lovely.
That's nice. It
It's
looks
very
pretty.
fresh.
Yeah.
Very fresh.
And
I
it's-
actually feel like you could drink too many of these.
I
You
know.
know, like when something feels too fresh.
What's
Give me
nice?
another one.
You
Maybe
get a
3
little
more.
whiff of the rosemary.
Yes, it's lovely flavors together. You're so good at that, coming up with these really unique ideas.
Autumn Fizz, named by Megan.
There you go, and Town and Country. I stole it from them.
All right, we'll give them credit too. Megan, that was so much fun. I think we're finally ready for our KTLA family to arrive. All the dishes have been made for our Friendsgiving. Just some finishing touches and we'll be set. Please join us for our annual tradition. Our KTLA Friendsgiving is coming up next. Yeah, show me chasing sweet potatoes all over the floor. I can't stop eating the cornbread. Woohoo!